Okay, one final topic right here. I want to talk about Tua Tagovailoa. So at the time of this recording, it is Sunday morning. I don't know when this segment is going to get out to you guys, but the Los Angeles Rams are traveling to Miami, Florida to play the Miami Dolphins this week in Week 8 of the 2020 NFL season. And this is going to be Tua Tagovailoa's first ever start in the NFL. I'm so excited. Tua Tagovailoa, if you don't know who he is, he's the former Alabama quarterback, former Heisman Trophy finalist. He won a national title at Alabama. He put up great numbers. He was the number 5 overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft. Miami fans are excited. I'm excited. I cannot wait to watch Tua play. I think the Miami Dolphins are putting Tua Tagovailoa in a great position to succeed. Now, I have some questions about Tua. I'm not fully all in on Tua. Tua did have a lot of injuries in college. There was not a single player in college football that I saw in the injury tent more than Tua Tagovailoa. That's just a harsh reality. Okay, he was constantly injured. I want to see if he can take hits at the NFL level. I want to see how his body holds up. And I understand that, he had some rough games versus Clemson in 2018 where he got bodied by Trevor Lawrence. He didn't play particularly well versus Mississippi State. Didn't play particularly well versus Georgia. That's kind of what concerns me about Tua. By the way, the Georgia game I'm talking about is in 2018. All 3 of those games I mentioned were in 2018. I talked about 2018 because that was the last time Tua played a full season. His season was cut short due to injury in 2019. So in 2018, he struggled versus Clemson, struggled versus Mississippi State, struggled versus Georgia. I mention that because Tua had a lot of good players around him at Alabama. He had good wide receivers, good running backs, really good offensive line, really good coaching. He had it made, okay? When Tua was put on an even playing field with the Clemsons of the world, with the Georgias of the world in the 2018 SEC title game, he at times looked mortal. So I just want to see if Tua can really break through in the NFL. I'm not all in on him. I have one foot in the water when it comes to Tua. I kind of want to see how the temperature is. I'm not all in on this pool of water right here. Not saying I'm going to jump right in right away. Maybe give me about a couple minutes or a couple weeks. Let's see how Tua plays, okay? And I think Tua at times thinks he's more mobile than he actually is. That got him into some trouble at Alabama. Got him hurt from time to time. And Tua has been compared to Drew Brees and Russell Wilson in the past. I said he's not even close to those guys. Those guys are elite quarterbacks in their prime. I don't ever see Tua being an elite quarterback. He's a little bit physically limited. Doesn't have the strongest arm. Not the greatest athlete. But I've always said where you get drafted matters, okay? It really does. It matters. Big time. I look at Brian Flores in Miami. He's one of the best young coaches in the entire NFL. He's doing a great job. I look at Chan Gailey. Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator. He runs an offense that's very similar to the one that Tua ran at Alabama. So he's got a good head coach and a good offensive coordinator that runs a system that fits what he likes to do. He's got good solid weapons in Devontae Parker at wide receiver and Mike Gesicki at tight end. So he's got a good young rising tight end and a star wide receiver. Maybe Devontae Parker's not a star, but he's very, very good. He's pretty close. Okay, he's really good. A solid running game, not to mention, Myles Gaskins has been pretty good this year. And the Miami Dolphins drafted 4 offensive linemen this past draft. Okay, in the 2020 draft, they drafted 4 offensive linemen. And they also signed Ted Karras and Eric Flowers. So the Miami Dolphins, what they're telling me is they care about protecting Tua Tagovailoa. I see so many times where the Colts failed to protect Andrew Luck, where, Washington, they consistently, not address the offensive line. The Giants, they've not addressed their offensive line with Daniel Jones. He's getting killed out there. A lot of quarterbacks get ruined because they don't have enough protection. I mean, Baker Mayfield last year. Baker Mayfield had no time to throw the football. He looked a mess. The minute Cleveland fixes their offensive line, Baker Mayfield looks pretty good. He looks like a franchise quarterback. So I like the fact that the Dolphins have invested in their offensive line. Not to mention, they signed guys like Byron Jones, Shaq Lawson, Kyle Van Noy. They drafted a couple of defensive backs. The Miami Dolphins are trying to win the line of scrimmage and play good defense. That's what they're trying to do, based on the way they drafted and based on the way they've signed free agents. They care about their line of scrimmage play, and they care about getting stops on defense. It's very New England Patriots-esque, the way Brian Flores is building up this team. And I'm not shocked because Brian Flores was on the not Miami Dolphins, he was on the New England Patriots coaching staff a couple of years ago, and he learned under Belichick, he learned under Josh McDaniels, even though that Brian Flores is more of a defensive-minded head coach. He's been within a great culture in New England in the past. So I'm not shocked that he's trying to build his team very similar to how the Patriots built their Super Bowl teams around Tom Brady. And for what it's worth, those formulas worked. So I believe in what Brian Flores is trying to do. And this Miami Dolphins team in 2020, they're 3-3 on the season right now. I understand that 3-3 is not knocking your socks off. You're saying they're 500. That's not all that great. Well, guess what? A lot of people did not expect Miami to be this good this early in the season, okay? They're competing for a playoff spot right now. They have an outside shot to make the playoffs. And they've given Tua Tagovailoa a great chance to succeed because they built a good team around him. They've got a good coaching staff. Not to mention, they're inserting Tua Tagovailoa when he's ready. Brian Flores and that coaching staff, they said, let's sit Tua for about 7 weeks. Let's let him learn the playbook. Let's get him on a bye week, okay? Because the Miami Dolphins, they gave Tua Tagovailoa the entire bye week to prepare for this Los Angeles Rams team, along with this week of practice. And the Rams, they're coming off a short week, off an emotional win versus Chicago. And ultimately, I think the Miami Dolphins are going to win this football game. Now, where they win or lose, it doesn't really matter in the context of things. But I will say, I like the situation Tua's in right now. They're being very patient with Tua. They're not asking him to do too much. They're gonna say, hey, Tua, come in, be an accurate distributor. We'll run the football. We'll protect you. We'll play great defense. Just don't make mistakes. And by the way, Tua, I think he's prepared. Dwayne Haskins last year, he was thrown into the fire, in Washington, wasn't prepared. I've seen a lot of young quarterbacks be ruined more than developed. I think Tua's being developed properly, okay? Now, there's a lot of pressure on Tua Tagovailoa because a lot of people felt that if Tua were fully healthy, he would be the number 1 overall pick over Joe Burrow. A lot of people actually said that Joe Burrow might be a one-hit wonder, and so far Joe Burrow, he's looked pretty good. He's looked like a number 1 overall pick. And Justin Herbert, the quarterback that was picked right after Tua, in my opinion, he's looked better than Joe Burrow. Justin Herbert's looked like a stud this year. So, Tua has a lot of pressure on himself. He's got to come in and make the Miami Dolphins right. I'm not saying he has to be better than Burrow or Justin Herbert, but it would help because right now, they look pretty darn good. So, Tua, you're going to have to win some football games. A lot of people know who Tua is. The Miami Dolphins have yet to have a franchise quarterback to replace Dan Marino. And many people are hoping Tua Tagovailoa is the guy. And like I mentioned earlier, Tua, he's got a good roster that's on the rise in Miami. They're going to continue to add talent. They're a big-time market. Free agents want to play in Miami. It's a sunny place. There's good food there, a lot of swimming pools, a lot of beautiful women. People will want to play in Miami. Miami will not have problems attracting free agents. It seems like they can draft pretty well. It seems like they have a good coaching staff. Excuse me. It seems like the Miami Dolphins might be building something special. But in order for that to manifest, Tua Tagovailoa has to be a hit. Tua Tagovailoa cannot be a bust. If he's a bust, then Brian Flores, he might be out the door pretty soon because we know how black head coaches, get treated. They have very short leashes, Okay? That's just the reality. Black head coaches have short leases. Okay? They really do. And ultimately, if the Miami Dolphins look at Joe Burrow and they look at Justin Herbert and they say those guys are phenomenal and they look at Tua and they say this guy's holding us back, it could be a huge problem. And ultimately, you still got to knock off the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Two teams that are well run and really good. So it will be ideal if Tua Tagovailoa is a hit for the Miami Dolphins. If Tua is a hit, I think the Miami Dolphins can be a special team going forward. But if Tua is not a hit, if he's a bust or he's a flop, that could spell trouble for Miami, and a lot of people are going to get fired. And by the way, if Tua doesn't succeed in the NFL, it will probably be because he's not good enough to succeed. So ultimately, it is all on Tua Tagovailoa to make the Miami Dolphins look very smart. We'll see what Tua Tagovailoa does versus the LA Rams in his first ever game, and we'll see what he does going forward. I think he has a chance to have a bright future. I think he has the makings to be a franchise quarterback, but only time will tell. Well, everyone, that's pretty much all I have today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Have a God bless day. Stay safe, everyone, and I'm out. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.